Okay, welcome back, boys and girls. What I'm going to do for you with tonight's homework help video is I'm going to walk you through the first couple of problems on the front of your worksheet. So if you turn to the front of the worksheet, let's take a look at the directions. The directions say estimate to label the fractions on the number line from 0 to 1. Well, let's take a look at A, which they've done for you. Okay, for A, this is the fraction that they want labeled on the number line. Well, if I take a look at that fraction, what is my unit? Well, my unit is thirds, which means that there are 3 equal parts in my whole, or I'm going to cut up my number line into 3 equal parts, which we see here with 1, 2, 3 equal parts. So if I have 3 equal parts and my units is thirds, then we can rename 0 as 0 thirds. And we can rename 1 as 3 thirds. So to fill in the other fractions, this part here would be 1 third, and this part would be 2 thirds. Now they want a number bond. The number bond is going to have 2 arms. In one of the arms needs to be the fraction they've provided, which is 1 third. Now what would be the other fraction? Now think about it as a rectangle. If I had 1 third of the rectangle shaded, then what part is not shaded? That's right. The other part of our number bond would be 2 thirds. Now, if we take a look, let's take a look at another example. Okay, our other example is, give me 1 second here. Our other example is 3/6. Now, don't mind the letter here. It is supposed to be B, but we have it as A. Okay, but it is B on your worksheet. Our fraction for B is 3/6. So if I look at 3/6, I know that my unit is sixths. So therefore, that means that my whole, or my number line, needs to be cut up into 6 equal parts. I'm going to do that with 5 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, if I count, I should have 6 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spaces. Now remember, on a number line, we don't count the lines, we count the spaces. Okay, so I have 6 equal spaces, so I'm ready to move on to my next part. I need to label the fractions on this number line. So 0, instead of being 0 now, I'm going to assign it the fraction of 0/6. So 1, or 1 whole, would be equal to how many sixths? That's right, 6 sixths. Now we can go ahead and fill in all of our other fractions. Now where would 3/6 be? If you want to, go ahead and put an X on the mark that would be represented by 3/6. I know that if this is 0/6, this has got to be 1/6, 2/6. This has got to be my 3/6 here. That shows 3/6. So now, that means if I traveled from the 0 to that point, I had traveled 3/6 of that number line. So let's represent that with a number bond. Remember, one arm has got to be the fraction they provide, which is 3/6, which is how far we've traveled on that number line so far. Well, how many sixths are left to travel? Well, we've got this one, 1/6, 2/6. I got 3/6 left to travel. So 3/6 would be my other arm of my number bond. So go ahead and follow the same process and try C, D, and E. Okay, welcome back. If you turn your paper over, I wanted to just give you a start for number 2 on the back because it's a little confusing. Number 2 says Henry has 2 quarters, Ben has 9 dimes, Tina has 2 dimes. Now part A asks me to write the value of each person's money as a fraction of $1. So we got to think about money here too. Let's go to Henry. Now Henry has 2 quarters. How many quarters are in $1? That's right, there's 4 quarters in $1. So 4 would be my fourths would be my unit. Now, out of 4 quarters that are in a dollar, how many does Henry have? That's right, Henry has 2. Okay, so now part B, I'm going to jump down to part B. Part B asks us to estimate to place that fraction on the number line. Well, if I want to show where 2/4 is for Henry, what's my unit? That's right, my unit is fourths. So I've got to cut up this number line into 4 equal spaces. Okay, now 0 becomes 0/4, and 1, or $1, becomes 4/4, or 4 out of 4 quarters. So where would 2/4 be? That's right. 2/4 would be right here. Okay. Now if you want to, and it might make it a whole lot easier, erase everything except where you labeled 2/4. Leave that there. Okay, now you're going to go back and do the same thing for Ben and Tina. And think about how many dimes are in a dollar and how many do they have out of those number of dimes. And then cut up your number line and label the fractions for Ben and Tina. You can go ahead and pause for that. Okay, now for number 3, I'm not going to walk you through it, but I just wanted to remind you. Remember, you don't really need the fraction strip for this question. Okay, so you can skip using the fraction strip, and don't forget that in part B, it's not 0/7, but you should have changed that to 0/8 in class today. Okay, good luck with the rest of your homework, and I'll see you in the morning.